Well, hello everyone. It's Sybil Starr. I'm here to give the astrology update for the Cancer new moon and the 28 to 30-day energy that follows that, what's called the lunar cycle. And just so you remember that new moons are happen in the darkness. The new moon itself happens in the dark, and it's like planting a seed, how we plant a seed in the dark ground. And we sometimes can't really see what it's doing, but it is growing. And so it is a time to plant your own intentions, to plant your own seeds of what you would like to see happen in the next lunar cycle, basically 29-day cycle. And at this new moon, there are 4 planets in water, and 2 are in their own sign, and then which are the moon and Neptune. And we also have the sun, and we have Jupiter. And Jupiter is in Pisces, which is a sign that is a co-ruler of. So there's actually 3 planets in their own sign. So there's a lot of water. And it's really important to remember when moving in times of water, when lots of water energy is present. One of the teachings is to flow like water. You know, how water flows around obstacles. It doesn't try to go through them. But ultimately, water always wins. Water gets where it needs to go. But it can come through with great force, or it can just come through like a stream, but it goes around obstacles. And the other thing is to follow the flow of the energy in your own life. It is a time of really listening to your inner guidance and subtle energies that are present, and feeling them, because water's always about feeling as well, feeling, emotion, and connection. Well, I'm going to show you the chart for the Cancer new moon. Okay, we're going to look at that, and this time we're also going to look at the astrology of the full moon, because they really flow together. You know, as I said, the new moon plants the intention, and at the full moon is actually when we can see the illumination. We can see, I don't want to call it so much the end product, but it's kind of like the pinnacle of the energy, and you're going to see what you planted, what you're manifesting. And so at this Cancer new moon, the sun and the moon are at 18 degrees of Cancer right here, 1801, and they're opposite Pluto. It's a 7-degree square opposition, but you know, that's still within the range. It's still impacting it. And it's also trine Neptune. Okay, Neptune is one of those water planets, so there's a lot of water here. And the other piece is that Pluto is also a water planet. Okay, it's a planet that rules the sign Scorpio, which is another water sign. All right, so let's go back here. All right, so what does this all actually mean? Okay. So first, we're going to talk just a little bit about the sign of Cancer. Cancer is the sign of the mother. It's the sign of the unconditional love of the mother. It is a journey to self-love. And I feel like in this new moon, we're being reminded that we are never alone. And the journey is always about loving ourselves and releasing anything within us that is not actually love. Love starts with ourselves and spreads out to others. Cancer is a very emotional sign. There's not a lot of logic here. Logic comes from other signs and other energies. Cancer is very intuitive, emotional, feeling. It's ruled by the moon, which actually represents the emotional body. Cancer is very sensitive, and the ancient symbol for Cancer is the turtle. The current one is the crab, but the ancient one is the turtle, and just like the turtle, the inner core is soft. You know, it's like a very soft heart. But defenses can be put up around that heart because, you know, when your heart is hurt, it's kind of like the tortoise. We go inside, we withdraw. Withdrawal and putting up defenses is one of the coping mechanisms of Cancer. But the goal is to be out in the world leading with your heart, even if it is sensitive, and knowing that at times it may get hurt. But being really sensitive, it's also important to recognize that it's a very subjective kind of an energy. Everything runs through our internal selves before it is presented to the outside world. And often we can take things personally that are not meant to be personally. Cancer can be very moody, and it can be very touchy. And to just know that, just like the moon, the sign of Cancer can be very moody, and it goes through moods. And so it's sometimes really important to just kind of become aware of your own emotional cycle, just like the moon has her own cycle, and to know this too shall pass. Just because you feel this way now doesn't mean in 10 minutes you're going to feel differently. So it's really important to just remember that. Cancer is very much of a healer, a nurturer, has to do, like I said, with not only the Great Mother, but how we mother, and that's also the moon, and how we heal and nurture ourselves and others. Like I said, we see lots of people with Cancer energy that are healers, nurturers. They could be as a profession or not, can be like gardeners, cooks, all these different ways that healing and nurturing shows up. And Cancer is very much associated with food. And the emotional body, as I spoke of, is to me is the soul, and it is the part of our consciousness that carries the memories. They say that the emotional body carries all of the memories of the soul encapsulated in emotional form. We may not remember exactly what happened, but we remember how we felt. And that is a real key of any experience. We often don't remember the details. What we actually remember is how the situation or that person made us feel. And so that's why different people can have different memories of something that happened. And I mean, especially how people can have, in the same family, can have different experiences of their mother, okay, and their father, and their whole family situation, okay. And just to say, just one more thing, many Cancer, many writers have strong Cancer placements, because there's often, imagination is often related to soul memories, okay. All right. And Cancer is also very protective, and really likes to be safe. Safety is always an issue that comes up. And the thing is, when we're focused on safety, we can often make choices that are based in fear, not in love, and not in our highest good. And so it's important to recognize that, because I feel like there is a piece of that is coming up this month to bring into our conscious awareness. And the other piece about Cancer and the moon is about belonging. Where do we belong? Who is our group? Who is our tribe? And those that are not in it can often be seen as the other. And a lot of things can be projected onto the other. But the other piece is just simply where we belong. We all have that need to feel like there's a place where we belong, where we fit in. And the good news and the bad news is sometimes we, like I said, we aren't true to ourselves to be able to belong, and then we can also project fear onto the other, in quotes, the other. Whoever that might be. All right. So, and as I said, Cancer is an intensely feeling sign. Cancer's goal in life is to come in to feel everything. Okay. And the key is to remember is that there are, that just because you feel like this at this moment doesn't mean you'll always feel like this, and to move through these feelings. Okay. All right. And so at this new moon, I talked about the moon being opposite Pluto and trine Neptune, and of course 4 planets being in water. So it's definitely a very emotional kind of an energy coming up for us this month. I'm actually calling this new moon video alchemical healing, because it's very much about the alchemical process that is happening. Because it's about feeling, it's about water, it's fire and water together, that, the fire is turned up, and then the water is poured onto it, and it's how we keep getting down to what they call the philosopher's stone, or our golden essence, okay, the core of who we are, the basic truth of who we are, okay. And so during this time, like I said, the fire is turned up, and then the water comes along, and the fire is the challenge. The water is it represents those who support us, the emotional support that we have as we go through these challenges, and also the cleansing, purifying effect of letting go of stuff that just isn't really us. So spending a lot of time, in or near water is really important this month to help release the stuff that may be coming up. And so since Pluto, the moon, Pluto, and Neptune and Pisces are all involved, is really, and Pluto's about soul healing. Pluto really brings in soul healing. And like I said, the moon is very sensitive. And Pluto just really wants truth. It's really going to the truth of what is. And it can bring in some tough love and some difficult healing circumstances. But it is one of the great healers of the zodiac, even though it can bring emotional challenges. But it's just saying that to heal, we must feel. We have to feel to heal. Feeling is the way. We can't intellectualize it or just talk about feeling. This is a month where it's important to feel things as they come up. Okay. And if we don't feel it and allow it to move through our bodies, it can get stuck in our bodies and cause health issues. And that's where a lot of health issues come from, is stuck energy, and especially stuck emotional energy, because this is a time of healing and cleansing our emotional bodies. Because the truth of it is, we we are moving into higher levels of consciousness, and our energy field, the clearer and the higher frequency we can hold when our energy field is clear. So a lot of this old stuff just simply needs to go. Um, yeah, and it's a time of emotional honesty. Pluto brings up emotional honesty. We can kind of tell ourselves stories of what we want to be true, but when Pluto comes up, it shows us what really is true in our world. And we can choose to believe it or not. But the thing is, when we choose to not believe it, once again, it can cause problems. Okay. And so anything not aligned with love is coming into our awareness right now. And with that emotional honesty, it allows us to make different choices and release old patterns. Old patterns may be coming up, the way we've always responded, but it may not be healthy for us. And that is time to make a different choice. We may get triggered during this month, okay? Whether it's from other people, our relationships, because oppositions always bring up relationships, and it's the balance between self and others. And just recognizing that, in these times of deep feeling, someone didn't make you feel that way. What happened is someone triggered something within you, whether it was conscious or unconscious, and it is still their stuff, but what it triggered in you is yours. And to really be able to hold that and feel that and recognize that because it's part of growth. Maturity and self-growth. Pluto is in Capricorn, and Capricorn can bring in the tough love aspect, of sometimes we need to look at hard truths within ourselves and within our situation and within our world. And let those feelings come through, whatever it is, whether we feel betrayed, whether we feel, whatever Pluto usually brings challenging emotions, okay? And whatever it is that is showing up for us, it's so important to just feel it so that you can release it. And Pluto, like I said, the moon is our most sensitive spot in our chart. It is the most private part of ourselves. And okay, so I'm back. I'm so sorry I had to stop. I sometimes my throat is very sensitive, and something comes through the air or something and really triggers a coughing spell, and that's kind of what came up. But anyway, so back to Moon Pluto. Um, okay, so like I was talking about before I started coughing, issues where we do not feel safe come up. Cancer and the moon really want safety, and um, Pluto wants truth. Okay, and sometimes truth and safety do not walk together. Sometimes hard truth comes up that make us feel unsafe on one hand, and another is sometimes people like to make us afraid. Okay, and that is Pluto can also be about manipulation and propaganda. Pluto is god of the underworld. He wants truth, but first to find the truth, it can be a journey. Okay, it's not like it's just right out there. We have to look deep within ourselves as to what the truth really is. And so, once again, we've got the propaganda of fear all around us. There's a campaign of fear starting again. And so the key is to recognize this is going on in the outer world, attempts to make us afraid. And to take a deep breath and to, let that, when you recognize that you're afraid, and that's when you're triggered, you probably are, when you want to just react, because the key is to respond. Okay, is to respond from love, not react from fear. And that's kind of where we are in, I'm going to say, the outer world right now. There's a whole new thing. I feel I'm seeing it through the propaganda of the media and different things, our patriarchal conditioning, the patriarchal system that's about power and control. Anyway, the key is, like I said, and I just had to go through it myself. I've been going through it in different ways, recognizing that I want to make choices based in my highest good and love, and not just simply react out of fear. And so, yeah, take a deep breath, feel it, let it move through you, get some clarity, ground yourself, put your feet on the ground, and say, what is really happening in my world in this moment now? Not what the newspaper or the TV is telling me, what is happening in my world. And that's the real truth. Okay. Okay. Because this is a time of purification. It is a time of purification so that we can hold a higher frequency vibration, and we cannot do that if we're holding on to old fear. To just breathe and let it move through us. And Neptune is also in aspect to this, which is a trine, and that's an easy flow. And I feel like that is saying we have divine support. We are never alone. Neptune is what is beyond the veil. It is what is invisible, and it's our connection with Source. Well, it's all our connection with Source. Neptune is just kind of the more mystical components. But it reminds us, it's the part where we are all one. It's the part where we are spirit. And it is about that, and that we are part of something bigger than ourselves, and that support is always there for us. Okay, and often things are not as they seem. To really, let yourself, like I said, be in the water, let yourself meditate and get grounded to find out what is really true. And it is also a time of healing and forgiveness. Pluto is about transformation, and the moon is the emotional body, and the sun is our consciousness. And I feel like what this is saying is there is the potential for real transformation through our emotional body if we allow ourselves to feel it, move through us, and purify it. And it's very psychic and intuitive time. Our dreams may be very profound. And, Pluto is always about forgiveness, and forgiveness starts with the self, and forgiveness is it's the most important thing we need to do to really transform ourselves. Any old things that we've been holding on to, it's time to let them go, so that we can carry this higher frequency and vibration. And to, like I was saying, to be in the water, to take baths, take salt and soda baths, go to large bodies of water, pray in the water, send your prayers through the water, and flow like water. You know, don't let yourself get stuck. If an obstacle comes up, find a different way and follow the energy, flow like water. Now, there's another aspect going on, which is very different, but also very significant. We've had the Uranus-Saturn square that has been going on through 2021, and it will go on through part of 2022 with Saturn in Aquarius and Uranus in Taurus. And I have been saying that this particular aspect is teaching us how to remember how to create in the quantum field. It's about bringing light into form. They're both planets that have to do with manifestation. And, you know, Uranus is connected to the divine mind, and we might see that things are absolutely manifesting more quickly as we become aware of our thoughts. And the thing is, it's so important to look in our world and see what's happening. I mean, not the outer, I mean, in our personal world. And, you know, what's going on in the outer world is our collective thoughts and creation. But look in your own personal world, and if there's something you don't like, think about where you've been focusing your energy. What have you been thinking about? Because we know energy follows thought, and where we focus our energy is what we create. And of course, thoughts aligned with feeling is the most potent of all. That creates very quickly. And as they say, you know, worry is a prayer to create something we don't want. And so it's important to focus on what you do want. And like I said, I've been in this situation of kind of confronting some of my own fears about a certain thing. And I always find the way to move forward is to change my attitude, to change my perspective. As you change your story, you change your life. You know, be willing to change what you think about something, because we really do impact our surroundings and our reality by our perception of something. But also, Venus and Mars are conjunct in Leo, and they're activating this square. And Venus, you know, is about connection. It's about beauty. It's about creativity and self-love. Mars is passion, desire. And when these two come together, it's very much about being passionate about something you love. And I'm going to say that this energy, if you have a project going on and you're passionate about it, the potential for it to manifest is very high. Okay, those places where you go where you kind of lose yourself because you love what you're doing so much. No, this is the path that is wanting to open to you and to believe, you know, and to just follow it. That's what I really want to say, is to just follow it. Okay. All right. And, you know, as we move into the quantum field, or remembering how to co-create in the quantum field, things are manifesting more quickly. The last thing I want to talk about is the full moon. The full moon occurs on July 23rd at 7:37 p.m. I'm just going to show you that chart real quickly here on my screen share. Okay. Okay, there it is. Okay, and so at the full moon, we have the moon at 1 degree Aquarius. It's opposing the sun, of course, at 1 degree Leo. And Pluto is actually conjunct this. It's about a 6-degree conjunction. Okay, so that's close. It's got also about a 9-degree conjunction to Saturn. I'm not going to really talk about that so much. And we also have Mercury in opposition to Pluto and trine Neptune. The same place the moon was, although it's 21 degrees, it's still in that place. And yes, and got a little another throat irritation. So this is the first Aquarian moon. There's 2 full Aquarian moons in this summer. And full moons illuminate what we put in motion at the new moon, the intention that we set. It illuminates it and shows us what is manifesting for us from what we put into motion. And the Aquarian moon is very different than Cancer. Aquarius gives us some objectivity and understanding. And the Sabian symbol for this full moon is an unexpected thunderstorm. And often thunderstorms clear the air, and lightning can strike. It can be like uh, and I'm going to say a potential emotional storm, which allows release and insights and understanding. I feel like there's some new understandings coming in. And with this Mercury opposite Pluto trine Neptune, it feels like some big truths that have been hidden may come to light. And that also, Mercury also needs to talk. I'm going to say this, with the insights that may come through with this, you may want to share with someone, or someone may want to share with you. But like I said, some big truths may come to light because the full moon illuminates. And I found this really wonderful quote that I want to share with you. It's about the pineal gland. Um, uh, And I feel like the pineal gland itself may be activated at this full moon. It says, are your eyes really open? The pineal gland, or third eye, is the most heavily targeted and poisoned gland in the human body, mainly due to its spiritual influence it has on the human awareness. A closed pineal gland means the mind can be easily deceived as it struggles to look beyond what is presented in front of it. An open pineal gland acts like a truth detector by being able to pick up on the subtle inconsistencies or lies of some subliminal messages that may be used as a veil to conceal true intentions. And as you can see here, this is the pineal gland when it's closed. It looks like a pine cone, but when it opens, it looks more like a lotus. Okay, I wasn't even really aware of that. And so I think the thing to remember is that, as the little quote said, that the pineal gland is the most targeted. I mean, fluoride is one of the worst things for the pineal gland. This is put into our water, supposedly for our teeth, but, it makes you wonder if it's not about to shut down human consciousness. And so I feel like there are moments where there's potential for the pineal gland to open and to see the real truth, and this is one of them. As through this alchemical healing and purification process takes us closer to our essence, our true self, where we can see and acknowledge truth. I think that is where we are right now. All right, wishing you all a great month. And you can please subscribe and like this video if you did. And you can go to my website at sybylstar.com if you'd like to do a reading or communicate with me in other ways. I'm also teaching classes now. I have a class the first Thursday of every month, and I also have a class for the Center for Sacred Studies on the Mothership. So please join me. All right, have a wonderful month. Thank you.